Sorry, guys, I lost you. Jasmine, hi, honey, how are you? I just lost everybody by accident. Let me move this here. Jasmine, I like lost everybody when I try to do that. All right, let's see if we could do this again. Yeah, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we're waiting for Jasmine.
You talk
Girl, this is
about
why.
it's good for people to see us all natural, and you got
Oh
your
my
hair
God.
done, you got your makeup done, you have your outfit
Girl, only
on,
because I'm
you're
supposed to
looking
go
all
to the.
nice.
Just dropped you.
Meanwhile, you got me
Okay.
like fresh face morning.
Hey everyone, so we are here today to talk about networking for everybody because that is definitely a big thing. I just did a post about it because I get absolute anxiety with networking. It's a complete nightmare for me. And people don't think about it because Jasmine, you know me, like they see the social side of me.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Hey,
like, you? No.
yeah, everyone thinks, hey Claire, everyone thinks that I'm like super like extrovert, and that's still not the case. So Jasmine is actually a huge networker as well. So it's so great to have you on board. Jasmine does interactive events where she introduces people to the arts, different art mediums that are really amazing. Hey there. I'm
Hi,
handling my anxiety
Sabrina.
now. I'm burning out with networking and handling schedule. Ooh, Sabrina, you definitely hit a big one on the nose. I think that one of the things we definitely have to be conscientious of, and you tell me, Jasmine, is definitely managing how much we network because
It could be exhausting.
it's very exhausting. It does cause burnout, just mentally and physically. I feel that when our brains have to work that much, it immediately deteriorates like our bodies, our minds, and just like even our souls, because we're just like, drained from it. So I think when you're scheduling these networking events or these opportunities where you have to speak with people, you definitely have to make time to. Which one should you prioritize? So Shabina, what do you mean specifically by the network and which one you should prioritize? I work with New York City Department. I'm constantly networking. My goal is to find resources for families. Yeah, so Shabina, let's start with you first in terms of like what specifically you mean with networking. And I think before we get started, it's really important to define the different networking opportunities, right? Because either one could be draining. You have networking in person, like going to direct events, being in person with everyone, engaging with groups of people in one platform where you have like minutes to just pitch yourself. And then separately, you have online networking, social media, connecting with people online. And then you have offline, right? Introductions to people where you're just trying to communicate with them in different forms through these referrals and introductions. So, it's kind of hard to manage all that, especially social media. It can be very, very exhausting and overwhelming. So, yeah, and networking is good for being able to get all those resources that you need for the services you're trying to provide or the products that you're trying to provide. So how do you, Jasmine, how do you go about it? Because you attend a lot of events. So what's the
Yeah.
tips you have for networking when it comes to getting out there and doing these events?
I get asked a lot because of the fact that I'm an extrovert, that they think, I mean, it does come a little bit more natural to extroverts, don't get me wrong, but I still too get drained. So I make sure about that connection. Can you
Sorry,
hear me?
go ahead. You make sure.
So even though I'm a big extrovert, I do have to prioritize my energy and my time and balance my work-life balance. So I tend to go to networking events at least once a week. And it's, depending on what you want to gain out of there. I will go and I'll feel it out first. I don't just automatically start going up to people. because I understand that one, you know, there's some people that can be really shy, or some people who are you know, who are also feeling anxiety about being there, surrounded around a whole bunch of people they don't know. So I will feel the atmosphere first and kind of walk the room, feel the room, and then I'll smile. You know, it's always awkward in New York City, especially to be smiling at strangers. But when everybody's there for the same purpose, it makes it that much easier, because you understand that people are also there to meet new people, gain new relationships, to network, to, you know, to expand their reach, whatever their purpose is. So, you know, you just kind of, you don't need to start off with, you know, hey, so why, you know, what do you do for a living? You could just start off casual. That's one of my favorite things. I always start off very casual, just like I'm meeting a friend. That's like my main two, like my main goal.
That's what it's exactly what Sabrina, she said. What I mean is how to keep in contact and in the radar without being too creepy, right? And that's huge, right? Because I think we do have to remember that everyone else is there to meet people as well. I think some problems become when you see clicks that you're kind of like, how do I break that click? How do I tap into that click? So one big tip for you guys is definitely go in strategically. Go into a place knowing exactly what it is you want to get out of it. So do you want to just meet people to be able to build your connections? Or do you want to, hold on, I'm learning this pin thing. So, or do you want to gain something specific? Do you want to what kind of people do you want to meet? Do you want to meet people that are going to be able to invest in your stuff? Do you want people that just are going to help build your tribe? Do you want people that are going to share knowledge with you? Like, who are the people that you want to connect with? Being very strategic so that when you're in that room, you're able to have easier flow conversations and you already know what topic you're talking about. I think it's also very important to know that you can't go into a place expecting to get someone to give you money on board, right? Or that you're immediately going to jump into passion. I think that the biggest issue I think with people is that they go in there with expectations of, I need to close a deal. But instead go in there to build relationships that in long term, are going to be to close a deal. But go in there strategically to say, these are the kinds of people that I need to meet to build relationships with and to culture those relationships. Because in reality, unless it's something completely amazing that someone cannot miss out on and you have it well thought out and pitched, there's no way someone's going to sign the check for you the minute that they meet you. So I think that having that mentality that I'm just looking to make new friends that I could build with and connect with, that eases the pressure on you as well.
It lowers the bar as well as the expectation, because like you said, with expectations, it's like, you don't want to set the bar too high, because then it's like when you're having an expectation and it's not being met, you're left feeling unfulfilled. Yeah. Kind of like, and you're left feeling frustrated, and you want to minimize that frustration. You just want to go in there on a casual tip, like you said, to invest in the relationship. So set the bar on that plateau. Don't exactly. Try, push it too far. When you first meet people, imagine a stranger coming up to you and saying, hey, I'm looking for investors. Do you want to join my company and
lend me $10,000? I need $10,000 for my project. You want to give me money?
I know.
It's like, who are you?
Yeah, no, they're like, I just met you.
Yeah. And I think, one big thing, Zerluz asked, what about networking opportunities? How do you find them? And it's really, again, about just connecting with people individually. So this is where you could use the different networking opportunities strategically. Being able to connect with people, meet people. I've been meeting people on social media, and then I meet with them in person, coffee, and then they invite me to networking opportunities. Like, I'm always being sent something like, hey, this is perfect for you. Sabrina was amazing. She just sent me something yesterday and said, hey, this person writes about travels in Latin America. Maybe you could chime in. People will start. And this is why I tell people I just wrote a post about this, my recent post, where you need to get away from your computer. You need to get away from being on your own. Like, first of all, I tell every client, do not do this by yourself. You need to build a tribe. And it sounds easier than it is, but it's not as hard as it sounds either. Because at the same time, like, without a tribe, you can't do it. It doesn't matter what you know or how great you are at something. There's always something we don't know. And I really believe in getting people that are smarter than me in the room. right? That they could help me. And then at the same time, those people are going to know more people that you don't know. So just get out there and connect with people. And again, knowing that just because I asked you, like, hey, can you help me with this? It doesn't mean they're going to. You need to build the relationships because people are going to invest in you before they invest in your product or service.
That's true. I do want to answer the question from Deluz. How do you
Yes.
find networking opportunities? Because the thing is that you will, once you meet people, you will continue to meet more people and be invited to events and so forth. Once you start extending your reach and extending out your network, and it will come to you. But when you're first starting out with trying to either break into a new area, or if you're brand new and you're not too sure, or if you're new to a city, whatever your reason is, whatever your backstory is, it's important to you could just Google. Thank goodness for the digital age, because that's actually, and I've joined a lot of networks because of Google, I have to say, in social media. Yes. And I've searched keywords like I
Yes.
wanted to find more technology based, stats.
Yes.
So I go out to the Digitex, the Digitalks, and I try to Google words like digital networking, to be exact, like digital networking events in New York City. Eventbrite's a good source, yes. Eventful, like, you'll start seeing it, but Google
Meetups
has been a very key
also,
source. Meetups, yeah.
Meetups as well. When you look at meetups, be very strategic about the meetups. If you're on Facebook, definitely find us on Instagram so that you can see the faces that are chiming in. So with meetups, it's definitely important to be strategic. Look to see which ones have the big groups and look at the past events to see how many people attended. Be very strategic about things. And I'm all about strategy. Obviously, I'm a business strategist, and I think everything in life needs a strategy. And so when it comes to networking, if you have a strategy in terms of your business, it makes it so much easier to be strategic with networking. Yeah. Because then as you're having conversations, people already know what you're trying to do, right? So they're delivering that message. Like, what is it that you're doing? So when I started building Dare to Be, the nonprofit, all my conversations were about, the homeless children we serve, and everyone jumped in on that, right? So what are you being specific about? Be very specific about your mission, about what your product or service is, so that you're able to deliver that, What other questions do we have here? I think we covered the ones.
You're welcome, Deluz.
Yeah, welcome, honey. So
I like to ask people, sorry to cut you off, Roxy. I do like to ask people this question, and it's a riddle about here, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? And for those that, where they have a puzzled look or they're not too sure what the answer is, if nobody's there to hear it, no, it doesn't make a sound. So that same motto applies with entrepreneurs and your business and, you accelerating and advancing in your career. Like, if you're not putting yourself out there, yes. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to hear your sounds. So it's the same metaphor.
You could have amazing products or services, but if you're not letting people know about it, if you're not talking about it, if you're not engaging people with it, then it's not going to happen. And again, networking doesn't mean like huge events all the time. I get extreme anxiety doing big events. But to me, my solution is, again, being very strategic, remembering like my purpose in that room so that I don't freak out. It's like, okay, you need to talk to people because you're on a purpose. And I remember yesterday I went to this event and I didn't know I was going to speak. They're like, oh, by the way, you got to speak. I was like, I got to do what? you know?
Exactly.
And so they were like, you have to speak. But being strategic, because I already know what my mission are at events, I was able to just be able to wing it. But if you're not, when something happens like that sporadically, then you're not prepared to speak and you're not able to sell your product or service, right? And get people on board. So that's really important to always just be able to have that. So I ask people, how confident are they with networking before doing this on my stories? And a lot of people showed that they weren't confident with networking. So I would like to hear from you guys. What is your biggest issue with networking? Why do you lack that confidence with networking? If you could give us some insight on that so we could work around the tips on that one.
I always tell people that confidence is not something that's innate within us. And the way we build confidence is by doing something over and over again. So it's like when I was first coming up with my mission statement with you, I was a little fumbly with the words. When I was first telling people, when I first started Escape Artist, I had just met you a few months later, now 4 years ago. So it was At first, it was hard. It's always hard to do anything and everything at first. When you're first starting at something, it's going to be difficult. And it's not till you get the practice in, you put the time in, you start noticing you're flowing with it more. You build the confidence because you start owning it and honing it. And that's where people, they want to jump from 0 to 100. And it's like,
exactly,
you got that time to actually start feeling comfortable in your own skin, feeling comfortable with your words, feeling comfortable with your delivery. The more you do it, the better you get at it, the more confidence you build. So that's where confidence comes from. Confidence is not something that's natural. It doesn't come naturally to us. Nobody's born with confidence. You got to build it.
Angel actually said it best. He says it's a muscle you have to flex, and you're absolutely right.
Exactly. Just like when you're in the gym. Right now, I'm actually in the gym.
Can you share tips on how to come up with your mission statement for networking? So this is definitely a great thing because Jasmine actually started off as a client. And so Jasmine, you kind of want to do like a really brief thing about how having your vision clear was able to help you with networking and just your business overall.
Exactly.
Like being more strategic about it.
Yeah, so it was a series of meetings with you. It was a series of talks for me, answering questions when it came down to figuring out my mission, because I knew what I wanted to do was just about articulating it and basically giving it form. And that's where you came in as a strategist. You were able to help me basically create that form. So it was just a matter of, I guess, sessions, researching, understanding my why and what I was doing, why I was doing it, what it is I wanted to do. And that's how it basically formulated. And it went from being like a full paragraph and a half to like literally 2 sentences. We provide interactive experiences with unconventional artistry, and we bring you behind the scenes.
Yeah, because you were very wordy. Yeah, you were so wordy in the beginning, right? And no one has time for that. So definitely that's one thing. And Jerluz, one big thing is to make sure that don't look at it as a mission statement for networking. It's what is your mission statement for your business? Because then that's going to trickle it down, right? So what is your business purpose? What is the goal? What's the product, the service? What is it that it's servicing at the end? So you take that and then you're able to trickle it down to, okay, because this is my mission. This is how strategically I'm going to be when it comes to networking. This is how strategic I'm going to be when I send my emails. This is how strategic I'm going to be when I do my branding and so forth. It just becomes like these stems that go from your umbrella. So it's definitely about becoming very strategic about your business, and then you're able to take it down from there. I had another question that was good over here. Sabina, how to balance your day networking. How many times we should go out networking? 2-3 times a week?
That varies for different people. Roxy, you go out, even though you say you're an introvert, which I believe you're an ambivert because you're a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You go out way more than I do. Even though I used to be event queen, I go out once a week.
I actually don't. There's weeks I don't go out. And I think the best answer to that is definitely don't. Hey, Annemarie. I think that the best thing is definitely not to, it depends on you. You know how much your energy, because networking is all about energy. It does take your energy at the end of the day. So it all depends on how long it takes you to refuel after, your energy has been depleted doing this. So that's going to be really important for you to be able to focus on that, to say, how much time do I need? Because for me, it totally drains me mentally and physically. I am awkward with it, and I'm an energy person. So yeah,
You're not awkward.
Internally I am, externally I'm not. So it is very draining for me. So I need like a full day or two to just recruit, and then I have to process everything too. So it's a lot. Annemarie, when the lines, you will attract 2 and what anywhere. So some weeks 1 night can equal 3. Exactly.
And it's not about the amount. So people think, and I get it when it comes to certain situations about quantity over quality, but the reason why I go out once a week, just like you said, it's like I need that time to recuperate. I want my work life. Lost you.
No,
my reception's going in and out. Yeah, sorry about that. Apologies. But I need that work-life balance. So the thing is that I'm not looking at, if I go 3-4 nights out, I'm out networking 3-4 nights a week. in the end of the day, how many of those relationships am I really investing into? How many people am I actually really re-engaging with after that? I used to collect so many business cards, and then the end of the day, how many business cards are we actually really utilizing? So that's where you got to think about quantity over quality.
And don't give out your business cards to everybody. It costs money, first of all, right? And then like, who are you really
intentional networking.
And Annemarie said it best. She also needs to digest. She's very much like me, because I think that Annemarie, I think you're an empath too. Like we like really get like people's karmas and energy. So between us taking it in and having it sucked out is just like holy molasses with us, right? And Annemarie says it best, like definitely intentional networking. It's going to be huge. Annemarie, if you're able to join us for a bit live, I would love to have you, give some ideas to people too. So like click on that little join button and then I could put you in. But it's definitely, at the end of the day, Sabrina, it really depends on what your goals are. And this is why you have to be strategic, because once you know your strategy for your business, okay, we'll do another one where we're set up, Annemarie. She says I'm in PJs. We got to set up a Wednesday with them. I'm trying to do these more weekly now because
I'm in the gym. Girl, she could jump on. Just headshot. Just keep it.
Yeah, she says, but why not? She goes, yeah. She said, why not? Authentic Ann. And Authentic Ann is amazing. So come for it.
I just wanted, because I do have to go.
Yeah.
So I do, because I do have to go back to working out. But I do want to get back to.
We're gonna have Annemarie take over. Go ahead, go.
That's awesome. So then with Sabrina, she asked a question earlier, and a lot of people have asked me this question as well about how to balance all your contacts. Like there's an app. I actually just use my address book. I just make sure that when I'm filing people and I'm adding the contacts in, where it says basically company info, I put exactly what I know them for so I can follow up with them. I don't want that many contacts in my phone, because like I mentioned about quality versus quantity and quantity versus quality, I'd rather be able to know the person, remember their face, remember what it is, that the purpose. I'm going in there with a purpose.
Yes, and that's very important that you say that. So, Annemarie, there should be a button there that says join, that you get to request to join somewhere on the right-hand side, I think. Do you have, Jasmine, how did you do it? So how could you can you let Annemarie know how to
scroll all the way up? Let me see. I don't know, because it came up as soon as you joined. So maybe she should hop off and then join the live again.
I think you could scroll on or something like that. Ladies, thank you so much for engaging us in this topic.
You're welcome.
Network with each other. Thank you. Yeah, definitely the network with one
We're
another.
Networking right now.
Yeah.
Since I don't know the loose, so it's like, we can engage.
But a big tip. Okay, cool, Annemarie. Yeah. A big tip is, so this business card here is amazing. I just got this yesterday, and it's a metal card. It looks beautiful, and it's cut, so you could actually see like the fingers there. So these cards are beautiful, but it's not functional. So in terms of strategy with networking, your networking cards should have a space for people to be able to write in, or make it easy, that like not laminated, so people could write on. So what I do is when I take these business cards, I actually write on them who they are and the story about them, or something that reminded me of them, so that they're able to take on. I'm able to remember who that person was and who I needed to connect. And yesterday I connected with a bunch of people that actually were intentional and that are going to be great for me to work with. But there was a couple that weren't. So what I did is I ripped the card a bit so that I knew that those people were not people I should like be following up with. Like I will follow up with them, but more like that it's not people, there was more people pitching me than anything else, So it's just, it could be an app, it could be whatever it is, but at the end of the day, it's going to be, how are you following up? Following up is key.
It's all about following up. And I usually like to follow up in a coffee shop or for lunch, something that's not, too intimate and personal, so that, it's just like, we can still be personal, but not where it's like over dinner, because dinner could be like an awkward time. That's more like a date night type thing. But I do, I'll say, let's, go for a morning coffee or something for lunch, or let's meet up over the weekend at this cool event. And that's how
Yeah.
I follow up with them.
In person, definitely do in persons. But I know you got to go.
In-person
Thank you so
follow-ups.
much, honey. I'm going to see if Annemarie is able to jump on with everybody.
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye,
love.
guys. Bye.
So yeah, so definitely networking is definitely a tough thing. But the tips that you're getting so far are be strategic about it. Know what the strategy is for your business, so that you're able to trickle that down to everything else that you're trying to do. Once you know the strategy for your business, then you'll be able to say, okay, what am I doing when it comes to networking? What am I doing when it comes to my branding and all this other good stuff? Then when you go into a networking event, being able to say, okay, what is my goal with this event? And then being able to say, who do I need to, I don't see it yet. Try again, Annemarie. Annemarie is an amazing individual. She is actually a branding specialist. And what I love about her is that she is actually focused on branding, you know, to do the socially conscious businesses as well. So I'm more about strategic planning for socially conscious businesses. But she's done amazing things around the world. So hopefully we'll be able to get her on. Annemarie, I don't see the request to join. So I don't know if you want to try again. But yeah, so again, you know, be strategic about it. Know who are the people you need to be in the room. So like break down, like these are the 2-3 people I need to meet in the room tonight, so that you're able to at least come out with that. And then go in just from, I'm here to make a new contact, I make a new friend. I don't know if that was, sorry, I'm trying to figure out if it came through. I didn't, oh, here it goes. I see you. Oh no, I see Sabrina. Hey, Sabrina. Wait. Ah, okay, it's not happening. So I'm waiting to see how this connects. All right. So, but yeah, so be very strategic about it. Everyone's in PJs. This is the great thing about entrepreneurship, that you can work in your PJs. Oh, wait. Got it. I think I got you, Annemarie. Oh, technology. I swear I love it and I hate it at the same time. I don't know what just happened, Annemarie. I think I tried sending you something. Okay. So any other questions in terms of networking while we try to figure that out? We hope this had this added value to you guys. We know it could be very challenging because even for the most confident person, you could be an extrovert. But if you're not strategic going into a room, you could come up with nothing and it could just be overwhelming for you because you're like, I just spent a whole day or X amount of money and I didn't get the contacts I wanted to get. So be very clear about that. And then, you know, look to see who's the one doing the introductions so that you're able to connect with them and have them do the introductions. Yay, I got Annemarie. I think I got Annemarie. Annemarie, it's waiting for you. Yay! Now,
I
where
haven't
did I
even put
go?
my eyebrows on, so please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Wait, where am I now? I'm so confused. Like, what just happened?
Oh, good. I didn't realize that when I did this, everyone in my network would see me too. All right, guys.
That's awesome.
The cat's out of the bag. I didn't fix myself for this one.
But
it's
you
early
look
morning.
amazing.
I've been up since 6:30 in the morning, and I ended up getting on calls. Anyway. So I'm on with Latina Nomad, Roxy, the rock star.
I am so excited to have you because, you know, I adore you and I love seeing everything you're going about. So can you please let everybody know what it is you do so that they know like a little brief insight about you?
Sure. So I am a conscious lifestyle and branding specialist. I have been working internationally to develop luxury hospitality brands, hotels, restaurants, and nightclubs. My whole business has been based on creating and connecting. How do I take a brand, develop its message, its identity, its target audience, its tagline, how to get it out there to the people, how to ante it up where it becomes a lifestyle brand where you can introduce it to several different audiences. So pretty much taking anything from a bottle of water to an individual to a hotel project and creating something that is likable by people where they feel like, wow, that's something I want to be a part of. And what does that mean when I say lifestyle brand? Lifestyle brand can mean many things to many people. For me, it's about what it is that's in alignment with me from my lifestyle, the things that I'm interested in. Does it have a social impact or give back component? Is there a way for me to be healthy? Is there a wellness component? Am I connecting with like-minded? Is it going to make me feel good? Am I going to be giving back? That's a lifestyle brand for me today. If you would have asked me that question before, a lifestyle brand to me would have been luxury, glitter, the nice cars, the red carpet, all of that stuff that sells a perception of glamour and sophistication. Yes. But that's changed for me now. And I think it's also changed in the market. Lifestyle. Lifestyle it has such a different definition to so many, right?
Yes. And I think that's what you're the perfect example. And that's why it's been so amazing to see your growth. Because I remember when we met years ago, you were in the club scene and you were the go-to girl in New York City. Like everyone would look for you if they wanted to make an event happen. And so it's been so beautiful, Annemarie, to just see your journey and just see it evolve. And that no matter what, and you're the perfect example of that, you could still be true to what you want. You have always been lifestyle. But that translation of lifestyle has evolved for you. Yeah. And so that's what people don't realize, that you could still stay true to what it is you want to do, what it is you want to fulfill, and have it evolve with you. You know, and it doesn't have to change who you are. It's just now it's evolving. It's not a change. And I think that's what people have to realize. You don't have to worry about changing who you are. It's about evolving who you are into who you're meant to be, or a better version of yourself. Right.
That's right. That's right. And if I can just interject and thank you for our original meeting, because when I met Roxy, I had been living in the Turks and Caicos. I had gotten a job with a hospitality group where I was running all the marketing events for this hotel group. And when I came back to New York, I had just done all this healing work. I was working on myself. I was working on my spiritual side. I had been out of nightlife and I was more in a corporate role. So when I met Roxy, I had this opportunity to volunteer and work with her during Christmas to give back. And I was at the core of me. What I really knew fulfilled me and made me feel good, but I still was confused about where I wanted to be in my career. A year later, I end up moving to Dubai, and I'm on red carpets and on camera and doing events and lush and luxury and golden champagne and blah, blah, blah. And I thought that that's what I wanted. My life took a whole other route until I realized 18 months later that didn't make me happy. So I wasn't being true to myself. And I left all of those things behind to go find myself. What was it that made me happy? I was happy when I was connected to my spirituality, when I was working on myself, when I was being healthy, when I was helping others. So I thought, okay, what do I do here? My specialty is in branding and PR, but I don't feel fulfilled in the current context that I've been doing it in. How do I do something that makes me feel good, where I don't lose all of that work and those years of experience and network that I built? So to be here now in 2019 and be back to the core of me, having built this business, having these clients in this network, and thinking, wow, really what everybody wants is that they want to buy into you. They don't buy into the product, right? It's all about you. And it's not about what you're selling. It's not about what you say, but how you say it. And when you're authentic and you're true to who you are and what you believe in, that's when you're going to attract the right people, the right audience, the right clients. So thank you, Roxy, because you got to see me in the in-betweens of my life. And here I am full circle.
Yeah, no, and it's amazing. And you hit it on the point that it's really, about you selling you. And that's what we mentioned earlier. People are buying into you, which is why you need to get out there and let people see you and let people get to know you, because without it, they're not going to buy into your product or service. So Annemarie, do you want to talk a little bit about how networking has helped you build yourself? And I think what you hit was key, that even though you've taken these evolutions, your network has grown with you and stayed with you, because we love who you are. So no matter what you're getting into, we're following you through that journey and sticking with you through that journey.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I definitely think it takes nurturing. And although I came from a heavy nightclub scene, I still have some really beautiful relationships that I developed back then into my world today. But there's also a lot of people that I've lost that have been there for the season or the reason. So my networking originally was all about my master networking, walking into a room, touching, going. But what I discovered in 2015 was that I was not making any real connections. I was not truly connecting. There were no deeper connections. I knew people on a surface level, but I didn't know anyone deeply. So I needed to take a step back and say, what am I doing here? Why am I running around, like you guys mentioned, trying to meet 1,000 people in a room when I know that if I am aligned and I know who I am and I'm being my true self, that wherever I show up, I'm going to meet exactly who I'm supposed to meet because they're going to come into my experience. So I'm not going to have to work a room. I'm just going to have to show up. And I don't have to go out 3, 4, 5 nights out of the week. I used to. I can probably go out 1 night or 2 nights and meet exactly who I was supposed to meet anyway.
Right. Exactly. What advice do you have for people when they're in a room? As Shabina mentioned, I know that if someone can vouch or introduce you in the room, it will help boost your credibility. I usually do take a wing person with me just because I have anxiety, you know, in the room by myself. So I have to know someone, and that usually helps because then they are able to talk about what you do from their experience. But what tips do you have, you know, for people to successfully network within a room?
Well, if you're not someone that's comfortable talking to strangers, or you don't really like to spark up conversations, I think it's good to do exercises at home. You know, I've been a chatty Cathy since I'm a kid, so I'm really comfortable going anywhere by myself and talking to strangers. But if that's not something that you're comfortable with, it'd be a really good exercise to practice in front of a mirror. And even when you're home alone, role play, ask your friends to role play, because you got to get comfortable and allow yourself that energy to flow so that when you go out, you're not awkward. You want to go out there and you want to be able to connect with people, and you want them to see who you are. You know, at the end of the day, we're all out here to connect. And although we're supposed to be in a time where we're the most connected, we're the most disconnected.
Yes.
So number one is practicing at home, role playing with your friends. If you feel like you want to take a friend with you, go for it. But I feel like that is a little bit of a handicap, because the idea is to get uncomfortable, and we don't grow if we don't get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So try to get out there. Go and do something that at first is more relatable to a subject than a topic that you're really inspired by, so where you feel more comfortable talking about it, until you get to a place where you get uncomfortable going to something that you haven't known that you want to learn. I think those are the two things, right? First, go do something that you're really passionate about, and then you'll naturally be open to have a conversation, versus once you're comfortable to go out to learn about a new subject and have conversations with people, because that's how you open up your horizons, you open up new opportunities, and you open up the space for new relationships.
Yeah. Definitely. As an entrepreneur, how do you overcome the feeling to quit? That's a big one.
Girl, the grit. If I were to tell you how many people have told me, why don't you get a real job? What are you doing? People are not going to take you seriously. What are you doing with your life? Why don't you become a flight attendant? Why don't you do this? I'm like, actually, I was a flight attendant back when I was 26 years old. So I did that because I did 1,000 jobs. I did everything from translating at the hospital when I was 18, to starting to work in nightclubs at 18, to being a flight attendant, to selling mortgages, to being an executive assistant at Morgan Stanley and Credit Suisse, to being a #1 promoter in my 20s, to becoming a brand director working for. So I've done all those things, and guess what? I know that I know what my strengths are, and I know that no matter what, I never gave up. For me, it was never about working for someone else. It was always about working for me, creating and getting and thinking out of the box, doing what people right now promote as live a digital nomadic lifestyle, go out there, be an entrepreneur. That's great. I love that. But guess what? With that comes a lot of judgment, critique, and people projecting their fears and their insecurities on you. And it's unfortunate, and you have to have compassion for them, but you have to have grit. No matter how many times you fall, you got to get back up, because guess what? The more times that you fall, the closer you are to the goal.
Yeah.
The closer you are to growing and really getting to where you will evolve, because once you get somewhere that you think you want to be, there's more growing to do.
Yeah, it's
Voila.
always evolving. It's like you get there and you're like, man, now because you've been exposed to so many people, if you're doing it right, you're being exposed to many people, you're accomplishing a lot. Hi from Turkey. Hi. Wow, we're all the way from Turkey. So and this is why I always tell people that you have to have a strategic plan. I know that, when you go to like SCORE, the Small Business Development Center, and all these different things, I know they always tell you do a business plan, and that becomes overwhelming because it's way too much data overload. And so a lot of entrepreneurs skip that, but go in with the strategic plan. Any kind of simple plan that lets you say, okay, what's my exact vision? Because if you detail that vision, if you're very clear about your goals, then no matter what punches you're taking or what challenges you're encountering, you're going to be able to stick through it, because you're going to remember, like, okay, this is bigger than me. This is where I'm trying to get to, and this is just part of the process. And I'm going to come out better from this. But if you don't have a strategy, if you're just saying, hey, I'm going to do a business and I'm going to, build this, and you're not so clear about where you want it to take you, you will derail. You will be defeated because of the fact that, we long for support from our loved ones. And if they don't they can't embrace it, it's tough. And we also have to be able to understand that everyone's different. Like, with me, with my family, I came from a corporate background. I worked in major corporate companies. So when I left corporate to do volunteer, they were like, what? Like, I left my entire corporate career working for a major firm, managing 60 people, to go live in Chile as a volunteer. And people were like, what? And I was gone for 3 years. And then I came back and I still didn't go back to work. And people were like, what is going on? So, but it's just, as long as you're true to yourself and very crystal clear about the vision you have for yourself in the future, then that'll make it easier for you to stand tall and be able to tell everyone, I get you don't get it, and it's okay. But I'm still going to pursue this, and I hope you support that.
And you'll change your mind. Sometimes your goal will change, and you'll realize maybe this is not for me, and you'll try something new, and you'll try many things. And I think that's a good thing. But I love the fact that you have something, I believe, Roxy, that people do need, and it's more strategy. It's more about setting out that plan and the steps to get there. And I wish that I would have had that when I started in 2009, because I didn't. So I made so many mistakes that I'll never make again. And in all fairness, that was part of my journey. But wouldn't it be great if people had more tools and resources? And how do we get more of what you know how to do out to the masses and out to the youth and all these people that want to be entrepreneurs and want to start their own businesses?
Exactly, because I'm like, if you do a strategy, hi from Istanbul and from the Virgin Islands, hey guys. What about coming from a cultural background that might make you feel you are alone in the process of developing a positive vision for your life? Yes. So I'm going to repeat that question because it's a loaded one. What about coming from a cultural background that might make you feel you are alone in the process of developing a positive vision for your life? So just so you know, my career has always been where I'm the only female or minority or both. And it has been tough, for us. You've been in Dubai, you've been around the world like me. I've lived in 7 countries. You've lived in several countries. And so cultural differences is something we always encounter. But again, this is where strategy becomes very important, because creating your strategy. Jaqui just joined us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, that's my girl.
Yeah, I love her. When I found out we had you in common,
I was just going to say the same thing. It was like, oh my God, the sisterhood of the traveling pants. I loved it.
Yeah. So, but when you have that strategy, again, that's why it's so important to have that strategy, because the cultural differences won't matter. I've been in countries where, whether it's been Africa, Asia, where I stand out and people want to stare at me or touch me, which is really awkward. But I'm able to still stand my ground and deliver my message, because I'm so crystal clear about my vision and what I'm trying to do and why I'm there and trying to connect. So being very strategic about everything you do is very, very important. It is challenging, and also being able to believe in yourself. I think that if people don't believe in themselves, then that creates a big challenge for you to be able to move forward. So really being honest about what you're able to do. And I've actually put some tips. I've been putting tips on, on Instagram. So go in there and read those tips about assessing your skills, believing in yourself, because all that will build into being able to withstand any challenges that come your way.
I have a little bit of advice on that too, and then I have to run. But just that it's really important to find your tribe and love them hard. Like,
yes,
really, when you're feeling like you're alone and you're in a cultural background where people don't get you, or you feel like you're the alien in the group, you have to do yourself, with the beauty of the internet, right? Do yourself a favor and look up who is doing what you do. Who do you admire? Who do you aspire to be like? What are they doing that you really respect them for? And try to look as how you can cultivate a network or relationship around people like that. That way you won't feel alone. It won't matter what part of the world you're in. You will find the like-minded.
That's a great one. And we mentioned that earlier about building your tribe, and that's a great strategy on doing that. When I started getting into the entrepreneur circle, I knew that I wanted to long-term do workshops and, share information. So I started looking for people like that. And actually, that's how I started meeting Jaqui, because I had made it clear to other people in my network what I wanted to do. So when our friend in common, George, saw Jaqui, he was like, oh, you need to meet Roxana. And he knew, because he knew what my mission was. He heard what she was doing, right, Jaqui? She's like, so true. And then when we synced, it was automatic. And I made her part of my tribe, because I knew what I wanted to do. And she's always doing workshops. She was developing her own workshops.
She's amazing.
Exactly.
Amazing,
so it made sense. And we created this amazing synergy and have been building together since then. But that's my number one key. I always tell people, don't go at it alone. Annemarie, I'm so excited that you joined us. I love you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to see your growth. We got to do something like based on that, your business, so that we could.
Today inspired me, although I got up like a crazy woman and I saw you girls on. I definitely want us to catch up if we can, maybe Monday or so, because I have some ideas. And let's do it, girls. Let's get together and let's just do what we do and do it for the masses.
Yay! I love you, Jaqui. You're gonna join us now,
too.
right? Jacquie's gonna take over now from you, but I love you. I'm so excited.
Love you. Ciao. Bye, everybody. Bye, ladies.
Bye. Jaqui, you're gonna jump on. Jaqui just asked to join in live on that one. So I hope you guys are getting very clear on the tips here. Definitely create a strategy for your business so that then that trickles down. Create your tribe. Look for people that you can network with. Know how much energy you could actually put into networking. Don't overdo it. Find that balance between networking and being able to, juggle your family, your friends, and your work business as well. Because you can just be networking all the time and then just not have anything come out of it. Do follow-ups, which is really important as well. Those are like really key to everything that, with you building your network. Because what's the point in you going to these events, collecting all these cards, and then not following up, right? That's something I had to improve on, because it would just be data overload, me decompressing, and then I couldn't follow up. I believe in connections versus circles. Yes, that's very important too, because sometimes you can have a circle and there's no connection with them, right? Like some people just have like a whole group of people that they're connected to, but nothing else is happening. So Jaqui, I'm waiting for you. I think I just discovered you. Hold on one second. Let me get Jaqui on board. If this thing lets me, Jaqui. Thank you, ladies. Hold on one second, guys. This isn't working with me. Not sure what's happening. Jaqui, I'm trying to get you, and it's not. Yeah, it's not letting me do it for some reason. Hold on, my love. It took me a while to get Annemarie on board, too. Not sure what's happening with this thing. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. Richie, we're on Instagram, so you can actually see everyone. If you're on Facebook, we tell them to go on Instagram. What is happening here? Hold on, Jaqui. Sorry, guys. We're trying to get Jaqui to join in. Hold on. What just happened? So everything's happening except joining you in, Jaqui. Not sure what's happening. Do you want to try again to see if it lets you? Jaqui is actually an amazing individual. She does a lot of events as well, but she's focused more on deep finding your balance, meditation, and all that good stuff. If I could get you in, that would be fantastic. It's not letting me do it, Jaqui. Do you want to go back out and in again to see? Because I see the thing there, but it's not letting me do it. Oh, I see it. I got you. Yay. Let's try this again. Nope. Should be good now. Okay, let me try it again. I see it there, but it's not letting me click on it. Sorry, guys. Go ahead and hit us with any questions while you're at it, if you have it. And we have like 6 more minutes, and then we're going to have to jump off. Jaqui, it's not doing it. It's not working with me. What is the technical challenges? And I got a new phone, so it's not my phone being a pain. I see it there, but it's not letting me click onto it. Ay Dios. Okay, yeah. So go ahead and hit me with some tips there. So Jaqui, we've been talking about the challenges. People were asking like how they could build it. Okay. Lizzie, I have you coming on board. I found Lizzie, but for some reason, Jaqui, I think you might have to try it again. Hey, Lizzie.
Oh,
Hi.
I didn't mean to be in the video. Yeah.
How are you? So,
I'm
you've
good.
been asking some good questions. What
Yeah.
do you have anything else you want to ask? And what do you think so far? Come on, Jaqui. Yes.
Well, so far, I think that it's very good advice because it's good to know yourself personally before you get and connect with positive people, like you mentioned, so you can kind of understand like the whole you know how to like build something you want. So I really like that. And also I think I'm also learning about like also to like kind of take time to like relax and see what we would want to envision for ourselves as well. So I don't know. That's pretty much what I've learned.
Awesome. Great. Do you have any more questions for us?
No.
In the intro? Okay, awesome. So we'll keep keeping you on this, and let me see if I can get Jaqui on board. Thanks,
Yeah.
honey, for joining us.
All right, bye.
All right, Jaqui, let's have you try that again, and then we could take it from there. So the questions, Jaqui, that they're asking, let's have you request it one more time, Jaqui, and then hopefully it'll be able to do it. So the questions that people have been asking mainly is, how can they find networking events that make sense for them? Are there any apps or tools that are being used for them to be able to manage their networking? Hi, Metsi, I can't even say it. I'm so sorry. So hi, Rob. Hi, Robin. Hi, Thomas, Leonard. We have all these amazing people coming in. John, Robert. Hey, guys. Javi Mendez, Pinheiro. Hey there. So yeah. So Jaqui, try one more time for the join in, and if not, then you could just give me some tips and I'll read them out. But in the interim, anybody else? Mehmet from Turkey, great to have you. I have not gone to Turkey yet, but I'm dying to go there. I've lived in 7 countries, and there's just so many more countries I want to visit. So, but yes, guys. So any other questions you guys have about networking? We have 5 more minutes before I have to jump off. But I think this has been really exciting just to be able to answer your questions and share the knowledge with these amazing ladies that joined us today. Jaqui, I'm not sure what's been happening with you on that side, but we could do this another day and just, I actually want to bring Jaqui on board. We're going to start doing these things called Wisdom Wednesdays, where in the evenings we'll be able to bring you in these amazing people to talk more about how to strategically develop your business and go about building the networks that you need in your tribes as well. In the interim, I have I am now posting daily tips from Monday through Friday, where you'll be able to get advice on how to strategically build your business. I focus on building socially conscious businesses, which means that it doesn't mean that you have to give your money or your services or your product away. On the contrary, it's just a matter of building a business that allows you to give back to your community by just creating jobs or being able to invest into it with the purchases that you make, and the commitments that you make within the community. So with that said, Jaqui, I don't know if I lost you, but I'll take a couple more minutes just to answer any questions for anyone with social media, within social media in terms of networking. So remember, the advice for today was one, make sure that you're building your tribe. Make sure, two, being sure that you're being very strategic about it. Create a strategy for your business, even if it's not a business plan, just a strategy. Three, make sure that you're creating a very crystal clear vision of what it is that you're trying to build, because the clearer you are about the vision, the easier it'll be for you to hold on tight, for you not to quit. Because as entrepreneurs, it is so easy to want to have to give up, because sometimes you could be drained physically, emotionally, financially, and it's just, you question why it is that you're in it to begin with. So make sure that you're going about it. Make sure that you're being crystal clear about where you want to go, so that no matter what challenges happen, you're able to get in there and, you know, stick through it. Like Annemarie said, be very intentional about it, so that you know exactly what it is that you're trying to get within these networking events. Who are you trying to meet? What are your goals? Don't go in there expecting to have people jump into your mission right away. Like Annemarie mentioned, you know, people will buy into you before they buy into your product or service. So make sure that you go in there and have people fall in love with you and your passion. It's not easy all the time, especially if you're an introvert or ambivert, whichever you want to call it. It could be very challenging. Also, another tip that was given was, you know, manage what you can. Be aware that events could be very draining. So just be very strategic about what you're attending and how you're attending. Grumpin Official says, my story called nine no's, one yes. Exactly. And just be very prepared. You have to have a very tough skin. Be prepared to get 1,000 no's, but know that that one yes will be huge for you. So keep that in mind as well. So if there's no more questions, guys, I want to thank you so much for chiming in. Have a genuine interest in others. Yes, don't go in there selfishly. Don't go in there about it's just me. Go in there knowing what you have to offer people too, and be able to share that. So I always share my contacts. Like, I just had a meeting yesterday with a government agency, and I was already like, oh, you can, you know, I'm going to try to introduce you to this person and that person, because I think that they could benefit from this, but they could also help you benefit, you know, with what you're trying to fulfill. So being very strategic about that, and being a genuine interest, and not being stingy with your contacts. I know some people that all they want is like, oh, me, and they want to be connected, and they want you to put them into everything, every platform, but yet they won't share their resources, they won't share their knowledge, and they won't share their contacts. You cannot be that person. Like, if you really want to grow genuinely, then make sure that you're being able to give and take at the same time. So Jaqui, any other thoughts that you have? Quick tips before we log out? Thank you, honey. You are the bomb too. I simply adore you. All right, guys. So with that said, feel free to ask us any questions. Annemarie, Jasmine was on the line. She does interactive events, focus on media. All the different art mediums. You had Annemarie, who is absolutely amazing. Find her on social media and follow her to be inspired with all the work that she's doing. And then Jaqui had another tip: be authentic. What does that mean? Be authentic is just be yourself, but at the same time, be aware of who the people around you are. Because